There's stories about yourself. Part of the brain have shut down because you have not questioned it. What do I mean by part of the brain have shut down? Meaning you are living life assuming you are the way you are, assuming that you know what you know, assuming your beliefs are truths, right? So you move with this way of how you feel about yourself, the stories you tell yourself, the things that you just accepted about you, right? Without question. Just think about it. If I tell myself, okay, yeah, I'm not doing that, I'm never going to do this, when this is the actual solution to one's problem, if you overlook that, which is the solution, now you're living life looking for an alternate way to solve a problem, but you're not going to go towards the solution, so you're searching for another way to do it. And then you wonder why you don't understand. That's just one example, right? But in most cases, the stories you tell yourself, the stories that you've accepted about yourself, the stories you've accepted about who you are and what you're capable of doing, your outlook on life, how you feel about yourself, these things that we just completely shut down a brain that doesn't even question it. And when I mean by shut down, it just means you live with assumptions, conclusions. It's just the way it is. It goes over your head, right? So these are the things that we have to look at. What about you is keeping you in the position you're in now? Because everything about you has created the life that you're living right now. You're living the results of your past moves. You're living the results of your philosophy. You're living the results of the stories you told yourself. So if this is the case, look at yourself in the mirror. Write this stuff down. What about me is creating the life that I'm living now? The results that I have, there is truth in that. There is truth in the results that you're getting now. Now, what many people do is they don't like to hear that, right? They don't like to hear that, or they don't like to dive into that. They don't like to look at that in a real way because they don't want to assume responsibility, right? As a matter of fact, they don't want to take responsibility. So if you don't want to take responsibility for the position that you put yourself in, whether you're aware of it or not, because we can't control what happens to us, right? We have control over how we respond to what happens to us. So if we have control how we respond, and there's stories about ourselves that we've accepted without question, then what are we doing? What position are we in, right? This position we are in is for a reason. The question is why, and are you interested enough to understand why? That's one thing that's one thing that we overlook is interest. Are we interested in understanding why we are in the position we're in? Now, with assumptions, what do you say? You go based on your beliefs, right? You go based on what you think you know, not what you actually know. You go based on the stories you've accepted, the stories you tell yourself, right? You go based on what you learned growing up, or you go based on the environment you're in, the people you talk to. Now, this is a mind that's not interested. This is a mind that just accepts. This is a mind that just says, hey, this is my position. There's nothing I can do about it, Anthony. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing in my situation. There's nothing I can do. And this is what you've accepted. When there's somebody else who is interested in the similar position that would say, you know what? What can I do? How can I see myself? How can I observe myself? Why am I the position that I am in? Why do I think the way I do? Why am I unwilling to question the things I find the most comfortable? Cheers to that one. Hold on. Cheers to that one. Cheers to everybody drinking the liquid truth. I'mACoffeeCo.com. Why am I unwilling to question what brings me the most psychological comfort and security? Why am I unwilling to question what I think I know? Why do I get defensive when one challenges my outlook on life? Why am I so defensive? Why do I want things to be instead of looking for things for what it actually is? Do you guys see this? Do you see this? Why does one want things to be a certain way? No, Anthony, you're wrong. It's like this. But why do you want it to be this way? Because I'm not looking to be right. I actually want to see, right? Because I'm interested. But why does one want to be right? No, Anthony, you don't. I want this story to be. Because if I see it a different way, I alter the entire course of my life. If I change the story that I've accepted, if I change the stories that I tell myself, then my entire life completely changes. The foundation of my mind, right, that I've built. Look, I'm getting excited. I view the world through the eyes of a foundation, whatever that foundation is, right? I live in assumptions, conclusions, judgments about life, right? I got these stories that I've just accepted because the world is in my head. The world is in my head. I've accepted these stories because these stories bring me the most what? It either brings me the most comfort, the most secure. This is what makes sense to me. Okay, cool. All of these stories, the justifications of why I'm in the situation I'm in makes me feel a certain way, right? No matter how much one complains or no matter how miserable one is, one will always accept misery through the desire for comfort and security. Safety, right? One lives in fears. Now these fears create the limitations in my mind. So now these limitations limit my ideas. These limitations limit my energy. These limitations limit myself. But Anthony, I'm struggling. Anthony, I'm miserable. Anthony, I'm afraid. Or Anthony, you don't understand my situation. But there's a part of the brain that says, I have no intention to go towards my fears. I have no intention to understand myself. I have no intention to understand, the things, I have no intention to question the stories that I just accepted about why I'm in the position I'm in or what I can or cannot do. So because I just accepted these stories, now I created these own limitations that I live by. Oh man, I can't do it. Oh man, I can't do something. Oh, this is why, why do I continue to repeat the same mistakes? Oh, I'm too old. I'm too stupid. I'm too this. I'm too that. For whatever stories one tells themselves, my question is not to somebody, it's okay, or you can do this, or you'll be fine. It's not a form of sympathy. It's a form of empathy. So you ask, why? Why do you want that to be? The story you tell yourself, why do you want that to be? Anthony, I don't want this to be. What are you talking about? This is not true. Wait a minute. Because I know what a mind is saying. A mind is in defense mode, right? Because if you were to see anything different, your entire existence starts to change. If you question the story you tell yourself, you now see the truth behind the moves you're making. If you question all the stories that you've accepted, you too old, you too this, you can't do this, you can't do that, you're too scared, you're not going to find nobody else, or whatever it is, whatever these stories, all areas of life, right? If you just accept these stories, you ignore them, and then now you live with the results of that. When you start to question them, you're forced to address your fears. You're forced to address the things that are the most uncomfortable. Your entire life changes instantly the moment you start to see. The moment you start to change your perspective, your entire life changes. The people around you changes. The friendship starts to change. Your partnership, you start looking at the people you're working with. You're like, yo, man, what am I doing? You start looking at the people that are around you. You're like, wait a minute. I just changed my perspective on what I'm actually doing. I actually see what I'm doing, and then everything changes. I question my outlook on life, then everything changes. I start to see the root cause behind the moves that I'm making. Everything changes. Now, when one fears the changing of a known or the ending of a known, then what happens? What happens if you fear change? What happens if you fear the change of a known or the ending of a known? No matter what happens in your life, no matter how miserable, no matter how much you complain, no matter how much One says, Anthony, you don't understand. Life is I'm going through la, 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 la. As long as that fear of changing of a known or the ending of a known, if I fear that, I will do whatever it takes to stay the same. I will fight hard to stay the same, because no matter how miserable one claims to be, at least one understands its misery. And if you can understand the misery, what happens? There's comfort in that. Yes, I'm broke, Anthony. I only got $10, but at least I know how to survive to the next day with $10. Yeah, Anthony, you know what? I'm in this relationship. Yes, it's abusive. It's this and this and this, but at least I know the best place to hide. At least I'm not alone. At least I have somewhere to live. At least I have food on the table. You see how no matter the position, if I fear the ending of a known or the changing of a known, I'm unwilling to question these stories that I've accepted. I'm unwilling to challenge myself. I'm unwilling to take responsibility. I'm unwilling to say I am the problem and I am the solution to this problem. Then what happens? I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And not because out of destiny or there's no shot you're ever going to change. No. We're not talking about you was born this way and then that's it. We're talking about how the moves you've made and the things you've accepted, the things you're unwilling to question has led you up to this point. Your priorities are in a certain place that's not allowing you to see yourself. Where's your priorities? Where's your priorities? Anthony, I'm lost and confused. I'm miserable, but I'm partying Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Anthony, I have no energy, but I'm spending my energy on things that don't matter. Eating certain foods, not taking care of my health. But look, there's no right or wrong way to live. Let's not be the one that says you gotta be healthy, eat salad. Come on, that's corny. It's looking at the results of the consequence and the consequences of your choices more than anything else. Can you see that, man, there's no right or wrong way to live. There's only consequences. You can make any decision you want to make, but just know you live in the results of it, right? But this is the part where everybody's like, okay, I don't want part of this anymore, right? I don't want to see that about myself. I don't want to see that I'm the problem and I'm the solution to this problem. This is the part where everybody jumps off. Oh, okay, I don't want anything part of this. Why? Because seeing that again will require a total lifestyle change. The ending of the known, the ending or the changing of a known, the changing of a habit, the changing of a belief, the changing of a philosophy, the changing of your move set, your movement, the changing of location, the changing of everything around you, changing of environment. People don't like change, so they fight hard to stay the same no matter how miserable their environment is. Oh, I don't want to be lonely, Anthony, no matter how much the people around me have nothing to, there's no value around, right? There's no value around me. But Anthony, I don't want to be lonely, so I still surround myself with that. See, these are the stories that we just accepted about ourselves. We don't want to say, okay, fine. There's nothing wrong with being around these people, but at the same time, they're draining your energy, the conversations you're having, the things that you're doing, it's like, oh shit. Why? Why accept that? Why? Right? Why is it that we can't just look at our situation and get a complete transformation instantly, which happens all the time? You see your situation instantly. If you understand it, there's complete change instant. It's instant. Oh, Anthony, sometimes it takes time because not for me, like this takes time. People think it takes time. It takes time. It takes time for transformation, Anthony. It takes time. When it doesn't take time, because once you understand, it's instant. Oh, I see it. It's instant. But then when you start altering what you see, when it comes to the foundation of understanding yourself, what happens? Now you cause this confusion in your mind. Is it this? Is it that? Is it really this? Is it that? Then you start being confused. You start moving with psychological conflict. You guys getting this? Give me some fire emojis if you're here. Give me some fire emojis if you're getting this. If you're finding value in this live right now. At some point, you're going to have to question the stories you tell yourself if you actually want real change. But understand this, most people don't want change. They want change, but they don't want transformation. And if you can understand that many people want change, but they don't want transformation, that is the biggest issue for many people, right? It's like I want change, but I don't want transformation because transformation means total life changing shit. You know what I mean? It means total life, complete transformation on the thing, complete end to the things I've built with a lost mind. Complete end to the known that I know at this moment in time. Complete end to everything I've built with a mind that didn't understand itself. So what happens when I'm unwilling to put an end to that? Because this is all I know up to this point. I've made moves, I made decisions that led me up to this point. Right now, I'm in this position that I'm in currently right now. So then now you look at this position. If you're unwilling to put an end to the things that you've built with a lost and confused mind, what happens? You will refuse to transform. So now you will look for change, but in actuality, you're staying the same. Does this make sense? We would want change, but surface level change. Hey, let me change my hair color. Let me change the color of my nails. Let me change the outfits that I wear. Let me buy the new clothes. Let me live in a different location. Let me live, let me read different books and all these different things that we would do surface level shit. But inside, when it comes to character, habits, outlook on life, mentality, intention, work ethic, the things that we have control of, people are unwilling to transform that because that is scary for people. That means total destruction to everything I've done up to this point. I got to create something new. And that is where people hesitate. Okay, I don't want to do that. So that part of the brain shuts down. I don't want transformation. So that part of the brain shuts down where you overlook certain things. Anything that causes real transformation, you're like, nope, okay, I'm not looking at that. So let me look at the things that I can do, or let me look for the greatest escape to my problem so I can stay the same and get a different result. So now you have millions of people wanting to stay the same in hopes they get a different result. Instead of instantly transforming their perspective by seeing themselves for who they actually are, getting to the root cause, and then it's instant. It's a decision. Oh, I see it. I'm in. I'm doing it. But there's always hesitation. There's always some sort of hesitation. When you fear the changing of the known or the ending of the known, there will always be hesitation towards transformation. You will want change in hopes that you can change while staying the same. Does this make any sense at all? Because what it takes to get a certain result, what it takes to become clear, to what it takes to become aware, you have to be willing to question everything that you think you know. And when I go like this, I mean your outlook on life. The world is in your head. And if the world is in your head, There's certain things that you've just accepted without question. And that right there is what keeps people in the same place. Look, listen, you can say no, you can argue, you can say all these things, Anthony, like this is fine. Look, go all in on you, but just understand that you are living the results of your past moves, and you are living the results of how you view the world. This current moment, and only you, when you look in the mirror, can see what it actually is. So if you lie to yourself, you will ignore it. But if you look at yourself and say, man, everything about me is creating the results I'm getting now, then won't you start questioning everything you think you know? That makes a lot of sense. Like, why am I in this position? I need to make different moves. What's keeping me in the same place? Why do I see it this way? What about me is you start questioning things in a real way and start headed towards a solution. Sometimes you just have to take action, right? All the time you have to take action, right? Like, you got to take action. However, you only take action when you want to take action. You don't take action when you're not interested. Again, people want change, but they don't want transformation. Transformation means responsibility. Transformation means understanding the root cause, not just doing surface level things. Yeah, the perception of change. People are more interested in the perception of change than the actuality of change. The perception of change is what people like. Hey, I'm looking like I'm doing something different. I'm looking like I'm headed towards a different direction, but it's all, people are jumping around the same thing. It's all the same thing, right? Just a different form. But it's not nothing lasting because you got to get to the root cause of who you are. Does this make sense, fam? I'm going to leave you guys with that. Give me some fire emojis if you are on here and this is making any sense at all. Fire, 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 fire. Got it. All right, family, listen up. If you haven't done so yet, sign up to my awareness journal. The link is in my bio. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I love you all. I appreciate you. I will be uploading this to my YouTube channel later today. And I will talk to you guys soon, yo. Take care, fam. Hold on. When something comes in, I gotta fix this. I gotta address this. So it's the law of sowing and reaping. Sow different seed and get a different fruit. In life, I don't know if it's the law of sowing and reaping. What I do know is the understanding of that entire process alone. Can you understand how that works? And can you understand that you are the problem and you are the solution to that problem? If you can understand the entire process on how that works, then you will see clearly on the moves that you're making, which then will change your perspective instantly. And then now you will do exactly, like, there's no more lying to yourself, right? There's no more lying to yourself. You can't lie to yourself anymore, right? It's like, okay, wow, now I'm clear. I know that I'm the problem. I'm the solution. Now every move you make, you're like, damn, what is the foundation behind every single move that I'm making? What is the stories that I'm telling myself? And because how you do anything is how you do everything. Like, these are not just quotes. Like, people are like, oh, these are great quotes. Wow, that's great. Right? It's not about the great quotes. It's about understanding the process of it. You know what I mean? So what can one ask themselves to start their own self-awareness journey? Ask yourself, am I focused on what it actually is? Or am I focused on what I wish it was? Am I fighting hard to see things from this narrow perspective that I want it to be this way? Or am I viewing it for what it actually is? Because there's stories about yourself that you have not questioned or dove into, like there's things that you just accepted. Like what's good or bad, right or wrong, what's the right way to do things, what's the wrong way to do things. It's just like we've just accepted these things. So we live life. You know how many people live years without questioning who they are or questioning what they think they know. So they just accept, nope, that's wrong, that's right, that's wrong, that's right, based on their conditioning. So now they're living life wondering why am I in the position I'm in? Why? There's a reason why. Like there's a reason why you are in the situation you are in. Like there's a reason. Now people who are lazy, and I mean lazy, psychologically lazy, not physically lazy, psychologically lazy, uninterested. If I'm uninterested, then I accept whatever feels the best, right? Oh, I'm in this situation because the universe put me in here. No interest in diving into it. No interest in understanding the process. Oh, I'm in this situation. Oh, no, because my parents did this. And just like, okay, do we see this clearly? That there's things that you've accepted about yourself, or there's moves that you're making, or who you are is creating the results you're getting now. Everything about you is the reason why you're in this position you're in. So now what is it about you? Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, don't label it. Just understand it's about the result. Okay, the consequence of being this human. What is the consequence? From everything that I think, everything that I think I know, I need to understand everything about myself. Now, how can you actually, like, this sounds completely impossible to people, right? How can I understand everything about myself, Anthony? It's like when you're interested, you just allow things to play out, right? When you're interested in something, wouldn't you just allow things to play out? You observe, you question, you allow things to I'm interested. So I'm questioning, I'm interested in you, or I'm interested in anything. I'm interested in this, I'm interested. When you're interested, there's energy, there's urgency, there's alertness, there's sharpness. I'm interested. I pay attention to the details. I'm listening, I'm observing. When you are not interested, how you're not interested on something, and then wondering why, hey, like, how come I don't know? It's like, how come I don't know algebra? 2x w squared subtract the fraction of 2/9. I'm like, whoa, that shit. I'm not even like, I don't know. And now imagine me not being interested, so I don't even dive into it, and then I'm wondering why I fail at math. Or wondering why I'm not good with numbers or something like that. And I'm wondering, damn, why am I not so good with numbers, man? Like, I don't know, man. Why do I keep failing these tests? Like, I don't know. And no matter how much I study for it, no matter how much I'm like, yeah, I got to put my mind to it, I'm not interested in it. Because I'm not interested in it, I'm lazy when it comes to the answer. Oh, just tell me the answers. Give me the calculator. Give me the calculator, 2x w squared. I don't care about the equation. Let me just, boop. Cool. Let me write it in. So I just focus on, I'm not interested in understanding. Because I'm not interested, I don't know. We don't take enough time to get to know ourselves. We focus more on others. That's facts. That's facts. We look at what one prioritizes. It's so interesting what people prioritize. And it's not judging anybody for doing what they're doing. It's what are we prioritizing? And then we wonder why we're getting the results we're getting. But look what you prioritize. Like, look what you're doing on the day-to-day, moment to moment. Look at who you're talking to, what you're doing, what you're listening to, where you go. Like, look at what you do. Like, everything about you is like, okay, you prioritize that, but then you get this result. Like, it makes sense. Like, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yes, guilty of that. I have observed that there are things in others though that I see in myself, and I'm like, damn, I need to change instead of judging, right? And then when we do, take a moment to get to know ourselves, it's done in comparison. Right. We compare ourselves to who we think we know and the perception of others, not what we actually know. The perception of, I compare myself to the perception of Anthony. I compare myself to the perception of who I see online. I compare my body to somebody I see online without knowing the full process of this body. Right? So it's like, okay, cool. Like, what are we prioritizing? This stuff is not as complicated as we think it is. Like, if we look at it, we say, hey, look, like, what you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And this is not a destiny thing. This is not no magical thing going on here. You are literally where you're supposed to be because you've made certain moves that led you up to this point, and the things that you've accepted about yourself and the stories that you just tell yourself. You've made all these decisions that led you up to this point. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, right? So now if you say, okay, well, if you accept that responsibility and you look at it, say, okay, but what? The question then becomes why? Why? What is it about the story that I'm telling myself that has led me up to this, that I'm just accepting this? So then life becomes about questioning the stories that you just accepted. What if you go back to when you was 4 years old psychologically? What if you went back to when you was 4 years old psychologically, when you were observing with a fresh mind for the very first time? When you was 3 years old, 2 years old, picking things up, looking at things and like, what is this? Instead of assuming you already know. And started re-questioning things about yourself, about your life, about everything that you think you know. Then you start to see, holy shit, the moment I change my perspective, the moment something comes to an end, something that I thought it was comes to an end, there's growth. Think about it. The moment that what I thought it was comes to an end, there's growth. I love you guys, yo. I'm out of here. I appreciate you. I love you. I'm out. Head to the link in my bio. Go to my Patreon. We already got about, 21 something people on there, where we are bringing awareness daily on the day-to-day. Sometimes I miss a day due to my schedule. But go check it out. Link is in my bio. Only $5 a month. Daily awareness journal. There's a lot of things I'm building with this group. So sign up. I love you guys. Appreciate you. Peace.